Good afternoon. Today I am going to discuss repetitively, I'm sure, yet still figuring that I might come up with some new things. And we all know that the big joke. There's so many levels of jokes that are going on at my expense. Mostly goes back to the sacred almighty trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions dollar celebrities and idols don't have a clue how much they're spending, um, and paparazzi revenge. And the media obliges. It's the Dirty Diana, ignore till dead opposite. Omega is, that whole tattoo reversal of thing. Regardless the judgment of it, it would be like that's the strange part about it. Judgment has to take place. Rational understanding of what's going on. Just because it's like an illegal contract. They're basically honoring an illegal contract, and yet nobody is doing anything about it. They just keep playing the illegal contracts. You like Enron or Bernie Madoff, you realize there's something really wrong there when you look at reality of skin and the reality of what they're worshiping as far as justification for the that's why it was so important that the law was involved as far as validating the scam. They're using the law as the weapon, as the kidnapper weapon, and to keep the scams going. So, yeah. But paparazzi revenge goes back to the warning was back from Fellini and La Dolce Vita, 8.5. And then you also have The Bicycle Thief by De Sica. And a bunch of these neo-realist post-World War II bleak films, which were indicators of the necessity of societal change as justification. Yet nobody seems to care. There's got to be the balance. And right now, because of the poor judgment worshiping this hack, this illegal contract hack, the balance is way up. It's like flying a plane, like when the G650 crashed a few Easters ago, because it was dragging one wing in the dirt and it rolled. That's basically what's going on. There's no balance, and they're trying to fly. Stretch Armstrong, Louis Armstrong Airport, or Lance Armstrong. It's even worse than Lance Armstrong as far as the amount and the variables that are involved within this. All goes back to this real creative math. 1x equals a million. But what they've done is using these illegal contracts, they've taken the 1x and transposed to numerous. There's a Trojan horse within the 1x. So it's like 1 million. It doesn't make any sense. And it's double dipping. And then the problem is that the reason for balance is maintain control, order. It's like so what they've done is they've double dipped, as you would, playing both sides as a negative. They're draining both sides. Rather than a positive 1x, negative 1 million, they put a Trojan horse negative in the 1x and a negative in the remainder. And so you've got double dipping from both sides. There's no and so nothing's getting done. There's no balance to the force as you would. So, yeah, so I have a feeling the media is playing that side. But what's really going on, there's a lot bigger picture when you deal with businesses. As far as the media and the celebrities are just a circus show. They don't, the amount of money they're spending is astronomical. I mean, trillions and trillions of dollars. I am fueling the anarchy revolution. It's powering. It's like the Terminator. The Skynet is forming because they are going. It was at a key technological time when I got abducted and whacked. They knew what they were doing. This was planned. It was set up because some guilty people didn't want to pay anything. Solidarity, they didn't want to pay anything, so they got real tight. So they whacked the victim, who was brainwashed like Patty Hearst in the Symbionese Liberation Army, and then it was an elaborate waste of valuable time when Skynet, the machine anarchy revolution, is being built. And I'm fueling it because the hacks to the system, as far as the a insignificant inability to competently, rationally focus, which is very apparent. That's another reason for the videotape to prove the ADHD exists. But so yeah, you got these. The scam was to use me, the Trojan horse, in the double dipping equation to fuel the anarchy revolution. It's like Louisiana. So what they've done is they've killed Louis. They used the whole Born to Die, Lana Del Rey, chopped out the we see, um, and replaced it with Popeye's fried chicken. So, oh yes, that's spicy. But basically, what happened was the math is really crooked. Yet I pay for it, so I'm fueling the anarchy revolution, which is building the Terminator Skynet. The strange part about it is they're just giving everything to the machine system. There's no balance involved. It's based strictly on county quantitative values, while they're worshiping diplomas, which is a misnomer in itself, and they're also worshiping individual wealth, which is a totally misnomer. But I should be, like I said, the banker. I was the abducted banker, bank officer principal. And instead, I used to make keys for the Trojan horse, so the double dipping happened. And because I have deep global pockets. So yeah, so I was whacked, mugged at the key technological time and sent on this wild goose chase runaround where I basically did nothing, but luckily I was smart enough to do my own investigation, and I paid for that. That's when you had to get into the whole media guilty. They had to catch the media as guilty. Like I said, it goes back to then. That's where they play the celebrities, who are. If the celebrities had used me properly, they could have gotten so much more valuable, so much more powerful, and so much more historically relevant. Instead, they were vain, egotistical, driven pride, and they sold their souls to the domestic system, and so now they are basically attack vehicles for the mob attack vehicles to bankrupt, basically drill bits. They're glorified drill bits. They can, diamond drill bits, like the Armageddon. They drill through. That's what they're going to be used for. Diamond drill bits, rather than building. It's their distent. See, the idols don't like the wealthy, and the wealthy don't like the idols, but they pretend to. The politicians are stuck in the middle playing both sides. So, and I'm fueling the revolution, which is leading to the Terminator, Rise of the Machine, Skynet being built as we speak, but there's no balance involved. Smart stalkers. Well, I mean, if you can control the environment, and I have very limited resources based upon this illegal contract that is being worshipped. That's why they're so desperate. That's why the scam to make the media guilty was a real key. If the media had to be guilty, and the way they played the media was at this technological dawning time of connectivity, they did not want the rest of the world to be able to adjust. They were racing to control. It was like the Sooner land grab. See, I was not able to adjust to modern times, so there were people trying to claim to. They were land grabbing assets because I was unable. And with me being sabotaged, it hacked or poisoned or whatever parts of the grid that are connected into my network. So therefore, Latin America didn't adjust properly. And what they're trying to do, the Terminator: Rise of the Machines wants a totalitarian dictator commune party. They want the county vote. That they hate Louisiana because of parishes. It's a lesson. I mean, you can hate all you want. They hate math. It's like hating math. That's the 1X. Man, men. 1X. But so what they've done is Louisiana is it's Burning Man. They're a bunch of anarchists. Even though they are proud, their flower power is a buffet. we've got a lot of very rich hippies, anarchists, is basically what's going on. And they're selling their soul to this machine. They don't know what's going to happen. I mean, who can really tell what's going to happen to the machine in 20 years? Who's going to be controlling what? What's going on? It's really unpredictable, whereas my system was a lot more safe and stable. That's why they had to get the insurance on the back end, because it was a gamble. But, so yeah, Louisiana, the Trojan horse, Burning Man, Lord, as you would, 1X. So they were building the parishes, which is a lesson in math that they hate. So instead, it's the counties, quantitative driven. You gotta have balance, because that's when you get into. It's hard to control an avalanche. It's hard to control a stampede, and that's what you've got. And they think they can control a stampede, or they think that's the riders on the storm mentality of trying to understand. It's next to impossible. It's a stupid daredevil gamble. The reason they did it is because they wanted to maximize their value. Greed was the envy, and greed and pride, and vanity, and all this other things. They couldn't necessarily, and that's one of the reasons I was relegated. And it proved that the mob was dragging me around trying to prove the validity of cash as king by the wealthy who were trying to play the global card. They wanted to burn the bridges of the wealthy. We partied with them. The wealthy held the torches, held me down while they were burning the bridges. And so then the wealthy, since they can't be infallible, they have to get it. And the motive was they wanted fat. It was a buffet, red and buff. It was a buffet. That's what they wanted. And because a lot more people, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the problem is they did not let me develop my estate. They wanted to maximize and control values. They didn't want to. So if they would have allowed me to develop, or Louisiana to develop the global estate along with this, but instead they wanted to leap forward. This was the sooner later. They wanted to get a head start, and that's what I was. By whacking me, it was a head start to this. So they wanted to be the first to eat, and then they were going to fight to keep percentages, control of this global estate based upon illegal contracts and loan shark slavery. Because I was never allowed to succeed. I was sabotaged. I was viciously attacked many times throughout my life. I got zero help from anybody, and I'm paying. And we're talking about I am literally supplying billions of dollars in scholarships in a roundabout way. What I'm doing is that you've got to have a cash converter. I'm a cash converter for my bank. I speak in first person, but I'm actually representing the principal of the bank. And they planned on it being pro bono as the big joke. I mean, these fucking idiots in Louisiana are, just crazy stupid for not lifting their finger long ago. I warned them, long ago, years and years ago, never lifted a finger because they wanted to gamble on. It really is. When history is going to be cruel. That's why they have to be able to control the system enough to be able to rewrite history. What the plan is. Well, the media being guilty helps them rewrite history. The media is playing the judge, the jury, and the executioner by not allowing. It's the whole deal about they're racist against the bears and the bulls. Everyone thinks of the bears being like China, the China or Russia, but instead, it's a barrister sort of, and look at me. So basically, they just wanted to upgrade extreme evaluation. So the media being guilty of being judge, jury, executioner as far as burying my agenda. They did not want my agenda out there. They sabotaged the rise of the kings, basically. Because I called 4 years ago strengthening in South America. They wanted South America for Dairy Queen and Chick-fil-A and the Walmarts and all that. That's because they hate parishes so much. So they had to inflict. It was red meat and based upon these illegal contracts. It's called Zoo Loan Sharks, which is really the tip of an iceberg, which is paying for a ton and ton. So that Louisiana sold their soul. They don't believe in parishes. They believe in county. There's solidarity in numbers, which is county ideology. And so I was left out to teach the lessons of monotheism was used. See, that's where also monotheism was used as the justification for alienation. Whereas rather than there being like a court, as far as aristocracy court, or even a Mount Olympus sorts of things with various gods or something like that, would be a whole lot better than this monotheism, the lone star used as the weapon to bury the body, to try to teach respect. They're still trying to, it's criminal. It really is. It's really criminal when you look at it. It's negligence and it's sabotage, insider trading, and I mean, they're just giving money away. But yeah, I mean, they're trying, and then trying to justify it as respect for Jesus or something like that, whereas the monotheism. But there's no, and the strange part about it is, in most of organized religion, there's mentions of different, the levels of angels and things like that. Where are they? That's all. They're all part of. I guess they're working for in the mob cat house. I guess the material girl getting screwed and getting paid for it and love it. They cheerleader for the whole rank scheme. I joke about this, but this is true when you look at it from depends on the language you speak, and I speak macro language. So you've got this rank scheme. You're taking me, who should be the top, and inverting it, the top of a pyramid, and you invert it to be a V. So I'm at the bottom, paying both sides and everyone in between. So what they've done is they have basically taken me and buried me at the bottom where I pay the most, pay the max, and this is so I'll hate my genes. They want me to hate who I am. This is the kidnapper Stockholm syndrome torture. So they want me to hate my family, Max and Minnie, my great grandparents, or Minnie Pearl. So they're going to I'm going to pay the max and get the minimum. So, they got to take everything, and that's just typical kidnapper logic. That's why they take my nickname Bo, which was a lesson as far as the parishes and things like that, the Beau Rivage, and they turned me, and they totally reversed it, the whole bit. My entire name has been totally desecrated because based on these illegal contracts, and you got a bunch of crazies that just hate they don't like math. They really, really hate math and science, even though they worship degrees. That's where you get into the whole infallibility of blood doping, where it goes from Lance Armstrong to Stretch Armstrong, plastics. These plastic values, you can make any math equation work. And so you're using Trojan horses, but it's not real math. It's double dipping, double negatives, or whatever. Double negatives, the Lulu is a win, that Steve wins sort of mentality, blah, blah, blah. The problem is the estate is not being managed properly. That's the entirety. If the state was being managed properly, I wouldn't really have much of a case other than jealousy. But the estate is being fire sale, decimated, looted, pillaged, whatever you want to call it, whacked, wiped out, and so they're trying to reincorporate it into this other ideology, which is a totally different school of thought as far as the basis of logic. So yeah, they want to teach me these lessons, the lessons that were supposed to be the markers to prove that there was higher intelligence involved, are then used as ramps, daredevil ramps, to bury the body. Not special. Even though I should be treated because I have so many people. It's like you take one person I'm affecting millions of people. So what they're trying to do is get those people to hate me or to run to be free range so they can rebrand them, or go scoop them up, or they can go wrangle and rebrand. So, but by following me, that sort of devotion, not special, one of these lessons, binge warmer, goes into, this is where you get into the whole cat house scenario, material girl cat house, paying to get screwed and enjoying it, because they don't know they're in coma. So Beatrix Kiddos, Buck and lose coochie sort of mentality. Um, yeah, they're in a coma, or because they do not speak, because they speak county language and their mentality is very more precarious. So, yeah, they're playing this county mentality, whereas they're paying a lot more than most normal people because it's attachments to a bigger picture iceberg sort of mentality. So I am these rank schemes, these min-made rank schemes are so I am relegated. Even JV wasn't low enough. They had to put me as low as possible. They want to really scratch and skate, surf, whatever, ride, and regardless of cost. Um, so they lowered me way, way down. So that means in the poker face mentality, or once again using the voter logic against me, pays off every time. So the estate is then distributed throughout this V network. And um, so what's going on is you've got these ranks, but then you've got ranks above them. So by basically getting screwed, because they will not close the door, they won't close their legs, they won't close their door, they won't close the bank vault, which is because I'm buried at the bottom, I'm not at least, they're getting screwed, and then you get into they're paying for it, literally, material girl. I mean, that's when the global valuations are then transferred into this V pyramid, this V inverted pyramid. So they're basically paying. It's like going to a whorehouse, and then the girls. There was this absent-minded waiter sketch years ago with Steve Martin, where he would wait on you, then give you money at the end. That's basically what's going on. That's the whole Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller joke. So they're basically paying to get screwed because of the vulnerable, the B for vulnerable, because I matter the least because I was hacked by the system who doesn't necessarily have the jurisdiction. It's where you get into JVV, JW Pepper, killing James Bond. It's a global bank I'm representing. My jurisdiction is globally, but they play the Don King only in America card so they can keep control. So therefore, we're paying in a global bank. But then they're going to try to get into all sorts of things. But we've been sabotaged for 40, 50 years, obviously. It was way, way back when. Kept real small and under control or brainwashed and in a coma. Then, to justify it's the bench warmer, uncool bench warmer, because they have to try to desecrate, cremate as you would, burn, whatever, burning cross to ash or whatever you want to, burning man. They can call it whatever they want. Try to call it a marijuana if you want, smoking crack rock, or it's really a lot worse than that because of the costs and the gambling involved. I mean, it's really like porno for pirate. They're basically burning down a high-rise casino as a gamble because they don't want to pay, and then they're looting the casino's vault. And then they're building, or they're transferring it over to the next door neighbor. So uncool, they got to make me uncool. I was trying to manage a vast global estate, BLM, St. Bart's, and they hate St. Bart's because it's envy. So they hate the fact that I have options that they don't have, and they're this rank scam that they've inflicted on me just takes away my options and then throws it into the lottery or throws it into the casino prize vault, even though they're not managing the state. There's reason I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to play all these sides to control. I mean, it's a really, really difficult job that I had, and they made it even worse as revenge because of immigration. But in actuality, immigration was probably caused by Gulf of Mexico drilling and then Louisiana chemical plants poisoning this global sector. So when you sabotage Louisiana evolving into a global trade empire, it's basically like killing the cops. Louisiana was supposed to manage this part of the globe, and they got hijacked long ago, and they got sabotaged, and so they can't. And so it's nobody's in control. Wild, wild west, as you would, but then we pay for the benefit. We pay for the repercussions of being sabotaged. That's how smart this scam is. Because I'm in favor of improving Mexico's economy to where there's no need for immigration. I've been calling for that for many, many, many years, but I'm not allowed to because I'm a bitch one. I got to pay for the playboys, you know. I'm not allowed to fix the Latin American economy using because they don't like competition. That's the whole or the mentality of it. So the lessons is valid. Spending my global dollars on these lessons that I'm teaching while transferring control to the domestic system, eh, for the most part, it's like they shot me and feed me a school lunches. And then they made these huge super clone mutants who are out of control. And then I'm blamed for that because something, there's so many angles of ways to play this because lack of control. This Trojan horse Burning Man is an unlimited, that's where you get into no limit variables within this Trojan horse, the double negative of it. There's no, it's not real math. The negative and the negative, spending on both sides, it's, the balance is off, so you're extreme cliff, steep cliff, as you would. Torture, food, alienate, uncool, as you would. Desecration because I am, well, it goes back to, like I said, I was supposed to manage a vast global state. So I was going to have to, I was prepared to handle a lot of different situations, but they want to rob the estate. So I then was sabotaged to pay for the lessons that I was taught. So yeah, I was involved in a lot of different scenes from the gonzo journalism perspective. I was, and then I'm unprepared. They always want me fallible. It's because the blood dopers that steal my blood and steal my body through these illegal contracts are then infallible. So I have to fall. I always fall down, whereas the blood doper parasites that have stolen my other body are infallible. So everything that I'm prepared for, I'm unprepared. They were trying to make me unprepared. So I am then unprepared and unable to manage the estate. So it's just wide open, vulnerable cat house for anybody to come in and screw, and they pay you to screw. It's all about transfer control, power control. And it deals with, it's some really, really bad perspective as far as, well, it's just criminal. I mean, it really is criminal, but they're untouchables. They think they are untouchables. And they've set things up to where, I mean, the possibility, my life is probably ruined. In the long run, I will be redeemed. But for now, they want to ruin, they hate me so bad because I am the victim and they are guilty and they can't understand. They hate math so bad and they worship diplomas. The diplomas are the loophole technicality diplomas. The United States university system is a joke. It's a technical community college system of loopholes and technicality, mass producing clones with percentages of validity based upon certain criteria. I just happen to pay for a lot of it, and it's the worst investment ever because I can't even get an intern, but I pay for millions and millions and millions through me in value in global state. And what I'm trying to do is say, hey, you've had enough. They do not want me to cut off the stolen credit card. I'm trying to cut off the stolen credit card by unplugging some parasite loopholes and building a wall to protect the bank. But they want me out in the woods. They want me in the wilderness so I'm vulnerable to screw. And all the followers are then paying to get screwed. That's the trick. Wow. It's a great deal. You pay out to screw these VIP tricks. And they don't have a clue because they were brainwashed to think like county rather than parish. That's the whole brainwashing. They think like the county and not like the parish. That's why Louisiana is under siege. You totally wipe out that fucking trick. That's how you completely eradicate the truth, bury the evidence, is you completely invalidate that science, that counting or English. or that's when you're replacing it with hacker code. So they're trying to invalidate the truth of this type of truth. They don't like math, and I wasn't real good at math in school, but this is a whole different thing. This deals more, like I said, with plastics for the most part. So they've got to desecrate the global state in order to, and make me uncool, to alienate any support. They do. I mean, it was really, really a miracle. They're trying to be sainted as miracle. How they buried in this mod. They honestly think their plan is by controlling me escaping in modern technological times. They're planning on being sainted to justify the All Saints Day transfer. That's the only rational aspect, because I got zero help with a lot of credibility. Totally boycott. Totally. It's difficult for me to prove because I was hacked so low. And there's really not a lot of credibility in the packaging. I know that's the vanity joke, laws, because of my inability to utilize packaging. They're making it hard, as you will, handicapping the kidnapping escape. It's this dungeon maze of hacks. So my inability to develop, and I don't have any credibility. I ride a bike around Tybee Island, and I live in a shared environment, which is very, very, very lack of credibility. I can't even afford to go out and eat or go out and do things. I can't afford to hire people. They got to make it's all natural, hard. That sort of crazy, psychotic, criminal mentality. So my inability to, and then that which turns me into uncool. So then all the credibility that I have, the thousands of pages of evidence that I'm paying for, the likeness rights I'm paying for these psychotic celebrities that have been screwed by the managers. Basically, what happened was the managers love the celebrities so much, and the media love the celebrities so much that they screw them really bad, and they just don't realize. I don't think the celebrities have the mental capacity to see, or the socialites. I don't know what they're thinking, but they have to be able to see far enough away that there's some real problems in this whole, and they just think they're going to fight it. Bizarre logic. So I think they got screwed by their pets, and screwed by their handlers, and screwed by the media, and screwed by their publicists, because they were so vain and gorgeous. It's revenge for the vanity. And I honestly think that's going to be the lessons in history that they're going to try to teach to justify screwing them, and by making them screw me, because it's really bad logic. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I pay on so many different levels. That's where you get into the double dipping. It's like, I can understand paying, if I paid 50%, it would be one thing, because the other 50% I could manage, but I'm not allowed to. I pay 99.99. They're trying to make me pay 100%. It's the 00 joke. The James Bond, killing James Bond 00 joke is pay 100%. 001. Jeffrey Bodine, double knots. So, I've got to pay so much. So everything is sacred. I am not allowed to go through and eat any meat, which would be incorporated into my vast global estate. See, that's the whole misnomer of this thing. When my body snatchers use me as an eating machine. So anything I try to eat as far as to grow gets my kidnappers stronger. So it's poison. Everything I eat is poison. Everything I try. And then that's why anything I try to do, I am moved around by these kidnappers and terrorists. They're clean hands. I mean, they're smart, but that's where you get it. They're hacky sacking or juggling me around, because that's the whole po' boy mentality. So I can't control myself. I'm dragged around. I don't have control of my body. Where it gets into the reality of matrix, your grid body, what you're really worth in your degree ranking, your credit report, your bank accounts, your possessions, and then your blood value. What's happening is they usurp my blood value because my body itself has been massacred. So then, yes, I am relegated to anything I try to do. They figure out, they try to show me that they're better than me. And you get your gun, whatever you can do, I can do better. So I'm literally just hog-tied, dragged around, ridden around, and taught lessons. Then justified as tuition, scholarships to distribute, which is heinous because of the notoriety of what's going on. So then I forget where I was going. There's a tangent loophole on the end of this. So, oh yeah, 100%, double load, double knock, Jethro Bodine, paying all the way, everything. Give, pay max, give me. So yeah, 100%. So I am unable to incorporate it in my state. So when my handlers, they use me as an eating machine. So whenever I try to eat to escape or to control, see the whole double negative math equation. Whenever there's too many sacred livestock, I starve. And I've been starving a lot, so there's way too many sacred livestock. So I try to, in actuality, it's math or science or law for me to control population. BLM, Bureau of Land Management, Bank Land Management. But I'm not allowed to. So right now you've got an overload of wildlife, and you've got an overload of farming animals that are just gone crazy. And I am not able to control it because they are sacred. Everything's sacred. Everything matters more because of this scam rank that I was buried within at the bottom of it. So I got to protect everything. So my handlers, the only way, see, if I was to ingest meat, it would be incorporate into my state, which should be a civilized society. State building walls adds to muscle. But my handlers do not have a similar body. What they have is Dairy Queen. So when I eat something, instead of incorporating in the civilized society sort of mentality, it comes out as, to my handlers, the only way they can control my body is communal shares. Because my handlers are a communal group. I'm a slave to this communal group. This pyramid is the scheme. And the only way they can be, there's no one, they have figureheads, faces, but they don't have the credibility because they are unwilling to manage. It's why you get into domestic handlers managing the global estate, and so they only have figureheads. They don't necessarily have any depth to it. Because if they had to make a commitment, it's like in poker, if they had to show their cards, they would have to play the domestic side of it, and they're spending global dollars. Whereas I was supposed to, that's why St. Bart's is BLM. But the United States, the international law is a fucking joke to the USA. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. It's World War going on. They just don't care. All they care about is claiming as much because of these long-term contracts. So my pimp handlers. So in order, when I eat something, it's basically throw a Dairy Queen up or a Walmart. That's because there's communal shares. Rather than that's where you get into. That's where the wealth is crazy because they think, well, it's a different class of commune. Their commune shares is more Ritz-Carlton commune shares, whereas I'm stuck in St. Moritz Hostel commune shares sort of mentality. But it's basically commune shares. They refuse to be lord. That's why, and they speak English language, but they don't like lords and commons, so house balance sort of thing. So what they've done, that's where you get into the double dipping. They don't control the lands, which I'm supposed to do, and they hinder my progress by locking me out to be screwed by the mob because they want me to pay the double O killing James Bond 100%. So yeah, I can understand. I mean, most people pay taxes 30, 40, 50%. I pay 100%. Literally, 100%. Get nothing. Zero. Um, and now they're trying to control it. And they won't let me leave. And Don King only in America sort of mentality. They make me pay. If I left, I could probably pay 40, 50% somewhere else. But they want 100% because they are proud kidnappers. And they're addicted to the world. And they make me pay for their addictions by teaching me lessons, which then they turn into scholarship funds. So, yeah, it's bizarre. So, yeah, I pay 100% because everything is sacred. I am not able to eat anything. Anything I try to eat goes right out into my pimp handler loan sharks and into their bank wallet to keep it's a factory, basically. They just gutted me where everything, they're efficient parasites, where it's 100%, and they bribe the government. You know, I can understand paying certain amounts of taxes, but they won't even negotiate it. They won't even acknowledge it because a negotiation would be, yeah, they want 100%. The double knot, death row being super spy, killing James Bond, J.W. Pepper, which was a county sheriff, parish as you would, the county mentality. That's why you get so much power within the machine system itself, and they're losing control. So, yep, paying 100%. So I'm not allowed to eat anything. Everything is sacred, even though I'm actually, it would be like me depositing money into the bank to try to protect it because they're all exposed. And well, the thing is, the mob, they play games. They'll eat each other, you know, to prove their competition. But they won't let me eat any of the mob, any of the birds or sacred. I can't. They won't let. They fight me to the death for every bite of food as a joke for the reliance. So I'm relying upon the game of life. Every bite of food is a competition for me, whereas most people can eat because they're part of. That's the members' only pride. You know, their pride is I'm not allowed to eat. I've got to. They basically keep. So if there's competition within the mob or the herd, so they'll eat each other. They're cannibals. They'll trade back and forth. You know, it's like playing poker at the Beau Rivage, as you would. They don't pay any cut. They don't. It's a commune house. They've hijacked the house to where that's where you get into double negative math. There's no math involved. They don't balance the account. No debits or credits. It's all debit, 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 debit. So then, yeah. So they will. I'm not allowed. They attack me for trying to eat because I'm not part of their members only herd. That's they want me to. They want me to want to be. That sort of crazy brainwashing, empathetic, yet wants and desire because the lessons, the special lessons. So yeah, they'll trade back and forth. You know, they're cannibals. The competitions, they're cannibals. They'll eat each other. But I am not. I'm locked out, not able to eat. I pay, but I'm not able to eat. And that's when you got into the detached body mentality. So how do I alleviate it? Who knows? The wealthy would have to wake up, which is probably not going to. Or, yeah, you know the laws are going to say, hey, here's your car back, here's your wallet back. We ran up trillions and trillions of dollars on you, and we're not going to pay it because we don't have any money. They're not even going to give me my wallet or my cars back or my family back. That's why they had to bring hostages to save them because, yeah, it's really crazy. It's really bad. Yeah, so what they're trying to do with my family is they wanted to keep us all small and contained. And what they're trying to hack the global network that way. That's the ransom of Red Chief also. They're trying to get their money's worth. They want 100%. They're going to screw us to death. Long term, who knows? I mean, it's going to implode. It has to eventually. I mean, the world has got to wake up. You think. But that's why the Delta Sigma Delta Chi is so important. The media is inciting revolution, the Terminator, the rise of the machine, sabotage, rise of the king, sweep the leg, Karate Kid, Cobra Kai. Um, they love to screw man. Burning Man, they just so they yeah. So you got the media sabotaging it globally, and they don't even want to discuss any alternative sorts of anything. It's all in a totalitarian commune party rule. Machines will take over. And they think they can control the machines. Well, what happened was the corporations were way out of control. When I was sabotaged and never allowed to grow up, I was supposed to control the corporations to a degree. I was going to be like the cops of the Transformers of the corporations. Nope, they're out of control. So now that's why they think they can control it. That's one of the reasons for this eating frenzy. I don't think they can. They're going to lose control. The corporations and the machines are going to. I don't know. It's bizarre. That's why the law is so worshiped. They think they can control the corporations and the law and all this sort of thing, which I don't know. It's strange. It's really, really poor logic. That's where you get into your double dipping accounting, double dipping math, never paying off your bills at all. So let's see what happens. But